He lived around there, just up there. And one day he went out to plant seeds in his field, just down there. This was a long time before farmers and tractors, so he had to plant the seeds by hand, which took him ages. He hung along a cloth bag with a long strap on his shoulder. Then he would walk back and forth across the field, taking handfuls of seeds from his bag and scattering them on the ground. This is called sowing seed. The field down there was next to a road. Parts of the field were bumpy and stony, and there were patches of weeds as well. To get the best crop, the farmer wanted to cover the field with as much seed as he could. So he started at the edge of the field and went right across, moving up and down the field, sowing his seeds everywhere. Sometimes a puff of wind would blow the seeds onto the road. Birds always notice this. They like to wait until the farmer moves away from the seed. Then they quickly gobbled up and the seeds don't even get a chance to sprout.
Speak to the beak because the bird ain't listening.
The seeds that fell on the bumpy and stony parts of the field got a chance to sprout, but when the sun came up, the baby plants would get any water from the hard ground. If baby plants can't get any water, the heat from the sun dries them out and they'll all get crispy and die.
That's stone.
Some of the seeds fell in the weedy parts of the field. These seeds sprouted and grew at first, but later the weeds would grow around them and use up all the water and sunlight. So these young plants also died. Lastly, there were the seeds that fell in the middle of the field, where the ground was soft and moist. These seeds grew up big and strong and made good food that the farmer took home to feed everybody.
When Jesus told this story, he was pretending that the seed was the good things that he wanted the people to know. These good things are called the gospel. The seeds that fell on the pavement were like the people who were sitting around when Jesus was teaching, but were not paying attention. The good things that Jesus was telling them went in one ear and out the other, and the birds took the seeds away so that they could not grow and do any good. The seeds that fell on the hard stony ground were like the people who heard Jesus and thought that the things he was teaching them sounded great, but they just went off and started playing on the Wii with their friends. By the time they had finished their game, they had forgotten all about what Jesus had told them, so once again the good advice didn't do them any good. Remember the third group of seeds, the one which fell in the weedy patches? They are like the people who heard Jesus' advice and thought it sounded great. Like the second group, they took Jesus' advice and they were doing pretty well for a while, but they also wanted to play on the Wii with their friends, and their friends didn't want to do what Jesus said, so they forgot Jesus' advice and just acted like their friends. So in a little while, they were not doing what Jesus said at all. But the fourth group listened to Jesus. They went home and told their friends and family the good news. They still played with their friends, but they remembered what Jesus had taught them and helped their friends to understand Jesus as well. They lived their whole lives this way and did a lot of good for themselves and others. And this is what we hope we will do too.